empowers them through music and art education, through mental wellness programs, and mentorship. And it's just an incredible organization. I'm so excited to share more about it with you and to learn how you can become part of this movement that we're creating. Tonight we're gonna hear some stories, we're gonna hear some performances over the next half hour. I also guarantee that during cocktails and afterwards, any single person that you meet in this room who you have a conversation with is going to be one of the most interesting people that you ever meet. This is an incredibly well-curated guest list, and we went through great pains to make sure that everyone here is a lover of music and art and community and all of those good things that make Brickell and this world such a wonderful place to be a part of. So let me talk a little bit about how I found my way to Guitars Over Guns. And so there really has never been a time in my life where the arts haven't played a huge part in my life. From the age of 7 years old, when I would listen to my parents' cast recordings of Broadway musicals as a young boy growing up outside of Manhattan, to college where I studied theater, to working in the commercial theater industry. I had incredibly supportive parents who put me through music camp, ceramic camp. Where's my friend? I was just talking about going to pottery camp when I was a kid. When other kids were going to football, sports camp, I was going to ceramics camp. My parents indulged me with piano lessons, voice lessons, ventriloquist lessons. I had a Jerry Mahoney ventriloquist dummy. Proof. I did puppet theater. And I was very, very actively involved in musical theater in high school. I actually need to shout out a very wonderful, wonderful friend who came here tonight. My friend Susan. Susan, will you wave to So Susan McMahon and her husband Edgar are here. They drove the distance to come here. Susan and I connected on Facebook. We haven't seen each other in years. Let's just say decades. We did musical theater together, and she is an incredible supporter of Guitars Over Guns just from reading about us online and all that. So thank you, Susan. Thank you for being here. So the point of my telling you about how I was indulged with all of those arts classes and music classes, and also was fortunate enough to go to an inner city high school where we had great theater programs. I realized years later that this was not something, a privilege that was guaranteed to every child. There are so many programs that have been cut. There's so much funding that's necessary, and so it is important to me to be a part of an organization that provides access to our most how do I say this, to inner city kids from Division I schools largely, who would not have access to music and art programs and wellness programs if not for support from people like you. So you're going to learn more about how you can participate. Participation doesn't just come in forms of checks, but we love checks. But there are lots of other ways that people have volunteered and provided services and helped out. So that's my spiel. You'll hear from lots of other folks who are really inside the organization. Before I introduce a very special